In the headlines, the Prime Minister sends an urgent request to the U.S. President to exempt Caricom from a levy aimed at Chinese-made ships. The Courts Welches superstore opens at the W Plaza in St. Thomas. A fire robs a couple of their home in Brittons Hill, St. Michael. And in sports, St. Michael and Combermere are the BSSAC Champs.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine, St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Good evening and welcome. I'm Tisha Hines with the details to the news. So concerned is Prime Minister Mia Motley about the impact a U.S.-imposed levy on Chinese ships will have on Barbados and Caricom. She has reached out directly to the U.S. President about it. Prime Minister Motley, who is also the chair of Caricom, has revealed that she has written a letter to President Donald Trump asking that Caricom be exempt from the levy. She says sending the correspondence at this time is a critical move, since the region could feel the crippling effects of Trump's attempt to curb China's growing commercial and military dominance on the high seas and promote domestically built vessels. Prime Minister Motley says she also conveyed this message to U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio when she and other Caricom heads of government met with him in Jamaica on Wednesday. She gave the update while addressing the official launch of the Courts Welches superstore at W Plaza in St. Thomas.
Florida, in a very real sense, is the engine of commerce of the Caribbean region. Caribbean depends on much 7-day supply of food, 7-day supply of vegetables, of critical supplies, of pieces of equipment, spare parts, all kinds of things. And that to have this disrupted purely because of the intervention of a statutory or an executive order that will lead to increased costs of supply will hurt not just us on the receiving end, but will hurt those as well who are making money from the logistics in Florida to be able to make the transition.
Prime Minister Motley says she hopes President Trump responds favorably to the appeal.
Because the cost per container, TEU, 20-foot container or equivalent, can go, we believe, anywhere between $1,500 to $2,000 US, and for 40-foot container up to at least $4,000 US. It is also, by the way, assessed on exports. And those who are exporting from our region will now have to face the reality of having to pay more before, or their customers who are buying from them having to pay more purely because of this particular cess and not because of any cost related to production or indeed to being able to source the raw materials for it. I hope that we will resolve it.
Now, while speaking at that court's opening, Prime Minister Motley also applauded the developers of W Plaza at Welches St. Thomas for having confidence in the economy. She commended them for taking a leap of faith and investing even during the uncertainties of the COVID-19 pandemic.
And for making sure that you were able to have a vision beyond the immediate future. Because if you didn't, we wouldn't be standing here in 2025. We'd be now looking at a groundbreaking ceremony rather than an opening ceremony. And it has not escaped me that you chose to put your money where your belief was. And mercifully, we gave you the confidence so to do, such that as we have come out of this COVID in the last year, we have the ability to see enterprises expanding and opening and rationalizing to be able to provide options to Barbadians. And if you didn't take that decision at the time at which you did, as I said, we would be now coming to a groundbreaking ceremony rather than an opening ceremony of many facilities.
And Prime Minister Motley also thanked courts for satisfying the aspirations of ordinary Bajans for the past 60 years.
Because over the last 60 years, courts has been the bridge that has allowed many a household to be able to breathe, that has allowed many a family not to break up from the exasperation that comes simply from dreams deferred, from the inability to be able to satisfy the expectations of others in the family.
We also heard that Barbadians can look forward to innovative changes throughout the Courts retail chain. This according to Managing Director of Unicomer Barbados Limited, Dr. Tricia Tanis, speaking at the official launch ceremony of the new 20,000 square foot Courts Welches superstore at W Plaza, St. Thomas.
The Courts Welches superstore represents more than a new retail location. It marks the commencement of a strategic transformation towards fewer but larger full-service retail stores, offering our full merchandise range of consumer finance solutions, complemented by our similarly comprehensive digital platform, Courts.com. After 6 decades of service to Barbados, we have accumulated invaluable insights, are energized to continue our journey of growth and adaptation. As we explore our new superstore this evening, I invite you to envisage this not as a culmination, but as the beginning of a new chapter in Courts' storied history in Barbados. This is merely the first step in our retail evolution, a testament to our enduring commitment to enhancing the lives of Barbadians through access to quality product, services, and overall experience.
Chief Executive Officer and Chairman of the Unicomer Group, Mario Simon, praised the Mia Amor Motley administration for its leadership in fostering a climate where businesses can thrive and investments can flourish.
It is through this leadership that businesses such as Courts feel very confident in expanding their footprint here, contributing to job creation and long-term economic stability. Your government's initiatives ensure that growth is inclusive, accessible, and beneficial to all Barbadians, showing the world that Barbados is not just open to business, but open for success.
Congrats to Courts. Switching gears now, Minister of People Empowerment, Elder Affairs Kirk Humphrey, has stated his intention to meet with so-called gangsters to discuss the issue of gun violence, which is rearing its ugly head across communities. Minister Humphrey, who has responsibility for crime prevention, made the revelation against the background of a public outcry about the death of a 13-year-old Jonathan Chase, who was shot multiple times while watching a netball match on the hard court at Silver Hill in Christchurch. He was speaking at the launch of Child Abuse Awareness and Prevention Month, which is to be in April 2025. Minister Humphrey says the ministry will also be working closely with the Barbados Police Service.
It tells us that if we don't do something with this emerging crime, all of us are at risk. You know, if you go to watch a netball game, I go to watch netball games, we all go to watch games, we're all at risk. This has to be a societal response. I think the media has a big role to play in this. There are people who people consider gangsters for sending me messages or telling me they want to meet with me and they want to talk with me, and believe me, I'm going to go and see them too. Because I know that we all have to put our shoulders to the wheel if we're going to be able to address this.
Minister Humphrey says he met with Chase's relatives and it was among one of the saddest moments of his life.
I spoke to the father the morning after the incident had happened. We visited the house yesterday. We spoke to the mother. And if the conversation with the father was difficult, then the conversation with the mother was gut-wrenching. And I don't think people appreciate how difficult it must be to lose a child in those circumstances. And I do not know how we could be responsible for child protection and this not be the concern of this ministry, to be truthful, or the concern of the Child Protection Agency.
Well, a couple lost their home to the firebug when it struck this morning at Brighton's Avenue, Brittons Hill, St. Michael. The blaze was reported around 9:23 a.m. The incident left homeowner Elson Dowell distraught, and he had to be assisted by residents and fire service personnel at the scene. The property, which he shared with his wife, was uninsured. Fire officials from the Bridgetown Fire Station and Bridgetown Port Station responded to the blaze. Station Officer Angelo Rivera says no one was at home at the time of the blaze.
We arrived with our own water. Initially, one truck had to top up, but our concentration was for fire spread, meaning we didn't want that to happen, and concentration was on the house directly west of the burning structure.
Minister of People Empowerment and Elder Affairs and MP for St. Michael South, Kirk Humphrey, says the Dowell family lost everything in the blaze. He says the Resilience Unit will render assistance to the fire victims.
We've already found accommodation for them, so tonight they will be in a safe space, a clean space, and we'll keep them there for as long as we need to until they're able to get back on their feet. We've reached out already to the UDC as well. After the firemen have done their work, our intention will be to try to help the family rebuild as quickly as possible on this location. They told me that they didn't have any insurance, and therefore it is incumbent on us to do as much as we can to help, and that's what we're going to do.
Well, coming up, a local boutique hotel continues to make strides. 1 year since its rebranding, the Rockley Hotel continues to attract returning visitors. The 49-room boutique property, formerly the South Beach Hotel, celebrated the anniversary with a reception dubbed Pomposette. Since its transformation, the Rockley, which is part of the Ocean Hotels Group, has risen from number 27 to the number 6 boutique hotel on TripAdvisor. Operations manager Sharita Sargent credited the work of staff and the changes made.
We have the best team. We have a team who delivers every time. So as soon as you walk through the door, you will definitely feel like a VIP. Our rooms, our decor, the food, the ambiance. We're right across from one of the best beaches in Barbados, the Rockley Beach. What else could you want?
Well, Chief Executive Officer and Group General Manager of Ocean Hotels, Patricia Alfonso Das, says through the branding, her team has sought to create a product that was uniquely Bajan.
Someplace that you couldn't help but know that you were in Barbados when you came to it. And the rebranding speaks to that. We've used local sayings on our cushions and our artwork. We have black belly sheep in our lobby. We have a fabulous art for the people space where young up-and-coming artists can show their work and sell their work. We've sold actually 7 paintings from that lobby already, and the artists get the full proceeds of that. We earn no commission from it. We have a fantastic food and beverage team here now that operate our restaurant and bar. The menu is very locally skewed.
Congrats to the Oceans Group. The Congress of Trade Unions and Staff Associations of Barbados, CTUSAB, is aiming to set a new standard in industrial relations training with the launch of its educational training program. The program is in collaboration with the National Transformation Initiative. Vice President of CTUSAB and President of the Barbados Nurses Association, Dr. Faye Paris, says it's not only a series of workshops, but a catalyst for reinforcing trade unionism in Barbados.
It is a bold and innovative step forward and a call to action for every member to raise their fullest potential. This program has been carefully crafted with an understanding of the unique challenges and opportunities that trade union members face in the modern landscape of labor. It serves as a response to the dynamic nature of our workplaces, the evolving expectations of workers, and the pressing need to safeguard workers' rights.
Assistant Director of the National Transformation Initiative, Raphael Saul, welcomed the collaboration, saying the program falls in line with the NTI's mandate.
We are breaking down the 4 walls of the classroom in a sense, and we are creating the opportunity for persons at all levels, at all ages, to gain the skills that you need to improve yourself personally and professionally as you need to gain and build them. Now, why is that important to the cause of transforming the industrial relations landscape of this country? because we recognize as an entity that this is crucial to ensuring that public and private sector organizations can function efficiently, that representation that needs to take place within these institutions can take place effectively, and that whether they are officers or shop stewards, they are equipped with the necessary skills and knowledge to lead and advocate effectively in an evolving world.
There is still a need to educate Barbadians about gynecological issues, in particular endometriosis. That's according to founder and executive director of the Katrina Endometriosis and Women Health Association of Barbados, Katrina Aline. With a spotlight on Endometriosis Month, she says they started body talk sessions at some secondary schools and have since collaborated with Mass C Distribution to highlight menstrual hygiene. Ms. Aline, who is an endometriosis sufferer, says it is still an invisible disease and urges parents and other adults to stop classifying it as a bad period and pay closer attention to their children.
In those sessions, I realized that I would have contacted a lot of females who would have talked about debilitating periods. So right now we are focusing on adolescents' endometriosis, where we are actually educating those in schools, and also we're looking at having PTA meetings as well with the parents so that they can understand that it's not just a bad period and that they need to listen to their children's bodies, because it is not just a bad period. As I keep saying, I keep repeating it, it's not just a bad period, because it wasn't okay to talk about menstrual cycles, and we still have this taboo thing that you're supposed to have debilitating pain with your menstrual cycle. So we're trying to eradicate that stigma attached to those not just in the schools but the wider and broader community within Barbados.
Ms. Aline says so far the sessions have been running very well, and boys are also part of the sessions, which has been impactful. She says the sessions also allow the students to be more aware of what is to come as they grow older.
At the end of the day, these boys grow into men, and when they grow into men, sometimes they are in relationships with persons that have gynecological conditions. So the education is definitely there for the boys, and our team this year is to engage, educate, and empower.
A Barbadian diplomat in Ghana has suggested nurses from Barbados could benefit from health training programs in that West African nation. High Commissioner of Barbados to Ghana, Juliet Bino Sutherland, is confident the nurses can gain practical experience in the field. That matter and others were discussed as she paid a courtesy call on the Ghanaian Minister of Health. This courtesy call highlights the importance of collaboration and knowledge sharing between the two countries to improve healthcare outcomes. A 28-year-old man has been charged with a number of offenses, including possession of an illegal firearm. He is O'Neill Clavis Nile Hines of Howells Crossroads, St. Michael. Hines was not required to plead to having the gun and one bullet, assaulting a police officer in the execution of his duty, resisting arrest, and using abusive language on March 24th. He appeared before Magistrate Graveney Bannister in the District A Magistrates Court on March 27th. Hines was remanded to Dodds Prison and will reappear on April 24th.
Sports Night is brought to you by Power In. Pause is power. And by Dasani. Live first, Dasani after.
Well, I don't know if you got any work done today, but I most certainly did not. Mark Seal, it was Sports Day.
Good thing for me, sports was my work. Very good evening. The St. Michael's School won the girls and the Combermere repeated in the boys as the Dasani Powerade BSSAC meet climax today at the Usain Bolt Sports Complex. Both teams started the day in their respective leads, and St. Michael Cougars increased that lead to win the girls' title by 53.5 points ahead of Combermere, 322.5 to 269, while the Allen School finished third on 224. Now, in the boys, Commonwealth pipped Harrison College by 15.5 points, 231.5 to 216, while the Lodge School finished third on 190.5. Here's a look at some of the late events that helped to determine the titles, the under 13 and under 15 4x100 meter relays.
Under 13 girls, 4x100 meter relay. Alexandra, the Ellerslie School, Queen's College, Spur Memorial, Harrison College, Christchurch Foundation, the St. Michael's School, and Courts Welches. Who will hand over first? It looks like Christchurch Foundation are doing well. So too, as the St. Michael's School with some work to do. Spur Memorial also in the midst. But at the moment, it looks like in lane number 6 is Christchurch Foundation, who will hand over first. The Spur Memorial School will have some work to do. St. Michael as well. But here comes Christchurch Foundation, will hand over first. And this is a done deal. Look at her go. Christchurch Foundation. Queen's College is tracking, but it's all about Christchurch Foundation. They will strike gold in the under 13 girls 4x100 meter relay final. Up they go. Under 13 boys 4x100 meter final. Christchurch Foundation is there. Had a good start. So too is the St. Michael's School and Harrison College. Lodge also doing well. Who will hand over here? They come around the back stretch on the second leg. It looks like Christchurch Foundation and St. Leonard's boys. Who will hand over first? Leicester Vaughan will hand over first, followed by St. Leonard's boys, and then Christchurch Foundation. Leicester Vaughan doing a lot of running over there in lane number 8. It's the final exchange, and all the action is in the middle of your field. That's Christchurch Foundation, but here comes Leicester Vaughan running in lane number 8. Leicester Vaughan and Christchurch Foundation. St. Leonard's boys will have some work to do, but it's going to be Christchurch Foundation. They take both the girls under 13 and the boys 4x100 meter relay finals. This time it's a clean start on the 15 girls 4x1. St. George, Spur Memorial, Lodge, Ellerslie, St. Michael, Ali, Leicester Vaughan and Courts Welches, who will hand over first. It looks like Leicester Vaughan doing well. So too is the Lodge School, Ellerslie and Ali. They come around for the second change over. The St. Michael running really well in lane number 5. They will hand over first. But look at Courts Welches go in lane number 8. Is Courts Welches, followed by the St. Michael School and then Leicester Vaughan. The final exchange. Who will hand over first? It is St. Michael School with Sarema James on the ankle leg. But here comes Courts Welches. Sarema James of the St. Michael School. It's going to be St. Michael School to strike goal in the under 15 4x1. Sarema James. The Usain Bolt Sports Complex erupts for the final of the under 15 boys 4x100 meter relay final. Who will hand over first here? The St. Michael School doing well. So too is Queen's College and the Allen School running in lane number 4. But it's all about Queen's College here. They hand over now to the third leg. Who will exchange first? Bit of trouble for Leicester Vaughan running in lane number 8. But here comes the St. Michael School. So too is Queen's College and Ali, who will hand over first. It's a Lodge School who hands over first. But here comes Queen's College and the St. Michael School. It's Queen's College, the St. Michael School and Leicester Vaughan. But it's going to be QC. Daniel Whitaker is a star.
The Burke brothers are the only Barbadians left in the BTMI Barbados Surf Pro at the Super Bowl in Bathsheba, both advancing to the quarterfinals today. Josh won his round of 16 heat number 2 with an impressive total of 12.80, with his best wave being a 7.00.
Joshua Burke up and right, and can he get around this first section? Yes, he does. Goes up in the lip, eye in this north section, big blowtail, comes out around the section. He's going to look to stick with this one. It's going to line up for him on the inside. Here we go. Josh Burke slides the tail once again. Coming out onto the open face. Eyes up this little closeout ahead of him. Pushes out the fins. And again, he's going to hit it one more time. And he's still going with 1 minute 23 seconds remaining.
Come on, Barbados. That's Josh Burke.
Honestly, I didn't follow my strategy in that heat. I think I should have taken, it worked out, but I like to start early and then sit with priority halfway through the heat instead of sitting with priority at the beginning and then trying to look for ways at the end. So I kind of did the opposite of my strategy, and I guess it worked. So yeah, looking for the next round.
Josh will be in Heat 2 of tomorrow's quarterfinals. Meantime, his brother Jacob finished second in Heat 4 behind the winner John Mell of the United States. Jacob had an overall score of 12.5 with his best wave tallying 7.5. Jacob will contest Heat 4 in the final 8. However, top local female Chelsea Twack was eliminated in Heat 1 of the women's round of 16. Twack finished third with a total of 8.90.
The captive insurance market is proving to be an attraction option in the industry. The revelation came from President of the Captive Insurance Companies Association, Daniel Toole, as he delivered the feature address at the Barbados Risk and Insurance Management Conference at the Wyndham Grand Barbados Sam Lords Castle Resort. More than 200 regional and international insurance officials attended the event.
They're leaving it. It's never coming back. I have really good statistics about this. I was with the state of Vermont for 17 years, and we watched all this with the hard market cycle, soft market, hard and soft. And what happened is when property would suddenly get soft, you'd think, oh, they're going to dividend that back. That usually didn't happen. What happened is that money got redeployed with other lines, and so the money stayed in the captive. And for all of you who work with risk managers, you know this. Once people understand the benefit of captive insurance, they're never going back, and those dollars are not going back to the traditional market. So that perfect storm is continuing.
The international insurance officials said the condition will also promote growth and higher retentions in the industry.
Companies that used to be comfortable retaining the first 500,000 are now doing 2 million. It's just going to continue to go up and up. One of the huge growth areas, and I talked about chasing after the shiny object, medical stop loss. We are just at the tip of the iceberg with that. We're seeing a lot of activity, a ton of growth, and that is not going to change anytime soon. I already talked about this next point, which is history repeats itself. These dollars are not going back.
It was the 5th Barbados Risk and Insurance Management Conference, and it ended at the Wyndham Grand Barbados Sam Lords Castle Resort today.
Sports Night is brought to you by Power In. Pause is power. And by Dasani. Live first, Dasani after.
Mark is back for the second round of sports.
Indeed, we're going to start with volleyball, where UE Blackbirds are the repeat queens of Senior League Volleyball in Barbados. Blackbirds have ended the 2025 season with a 12-2 record for an unassailable lead of 55 points. UE scored a thrilling 5-set victory over the second-place KFC Deacons in an important game at the Wildy Gym recently. Now, this title adds to the knockout title they secured earlier in the season to make them double crown champs. Now, in other results, Warriors got the better of Carlton, Chargers defeated Wow Foundation, and Toners beat Hill Road. CBC's Anmar Goodrich Boyce reports.
Toners closer to the screen, battling against Hill Road is where we begin. Caitlin Gaskin with a thunderous spike, hot like a boiling pot. But that Hill Road play only served to wake up the beast. Kimberly Austin, amazing stuff. Not much power, but a gentle touch does the trick. Toners were fully active, brought their A game to the court. The build-up is good and climax even better. Dana Paul with the kill. This really was a matter of the Toners teaching Hill Road a lesson. Ashley Jordan with the right hand, no emotion showed. That was expected as Toners went on to beat Hill Road 25-18, 25-23, and 25-18. Second encounter, Chargers versus Foundation in the black and yellow. Kanisha Marshall-Webster with the first point, too hot to handle. Foundation, though, had their moments. Talia Sandiford, that was brilliant. But Chargers benefited from good defense on this occasion. Tyra Johnson is denied by Amanda Daniel. Magnificent work at the net. Johnson, however, made up for it on the very next play, showing good skill and athleticism, got the spike to go. Nevertheless, Chargers were on top and went on to win this one, also in 3 straight sets at 20, 20, and 21. Final match now, the big one, UE Blackbirds versus Deacons in the green. We pick up the action in the decisive 5th set. The match level at 2 sets apiece. Deacons putting up the points here, leading 12-8. The Blackbirds were trailing and determined to get back into the match. Shakira Smiley Hall puts her hands up, no reply. The real savior, though, was Tennille Chapman. Good luck. Not a powerful shot, but enough damage, and the comeback is on. The tables had really turned at this stage, and the contest was over. Chapman, good luck with the exclamation mark. Game over. Blackbirds winning 20-25, 25-16, 25-15, 24-26, and 15-12. And more. Goodrich boys. CBC Sports.
At exactly 19 minutes after 8 last night, Britain's Annesley Park completed a rowing trek for charity from Gran Canaria to Port St. Charles, Barbados. The former professional cyclist left Tenerife off the Atlantic coast of Northwest Africa on February 1st and arrived on the northwest coast of Barbados 55 days later, after rowing approximately 3,000 miles as part of the Ocean Survivor Challenge 2025. Known to be one of the toughest endurance events in the world, the Ocean Survivor Challenge is a solo and unsupported mission across the Atlantic, not only demanding physical and mental strength, but also discipline and dedication. Park was met at Port St. Charles by several family members, land team members, and supporters, including her twin sister Georgia, who arrived here ahead of time to greet her. Park says she encountered many setbacks in the almost 3-month adventure, including seasickness, capsizing, and storm conditions.
There's so many variables, there's so many things that could go wrong, and I could capsize, I could roll over, which I did a few times. I had an electrical issue.
And the autopilot can't talk?
That's it, yeah. So it stopped working, and you know what, luckily I was on power anchor, which is a big sea anchor that stops me from going anywhere. And I was stuck in what's called a low, which is a tropical storm that came from America, and so I couldn't really go anywhere. I wasn't getting the course that I needed, so I put myself on a power anchor for 4 days, and during that time my autopilot decided to stop, so we fixed it.
Welcome to Barbados. Now, the Barbados leg of the King's Baton Relay has been made extra special this year with help from the students of the Barbados Community College. Activities to mark the King's Baton Relay in Barbados begin tomorrow with a cleanup at Long Beach in Christchurch in conjunction with the Caribbean Youth Environment Network and the British High Commission. The main event, which is the Baton Relay as a lead up to the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow 2026, starts on Monday at State House and will conclude in the car park of the Olympic Centre in Wildy. Coordinator at the BOA, Gail Craig Archer, said the tradition celebrates, connects and excites communities from across the Commonwealth during the build-up to the Games.
In previous years, the baton would always be very electronic. It would have hidden cameras, sensors, GPS. It'll take your pulse, and it will be showing this to whoever is holding the baton. This time it is wooden. It's made from a particular type of tree out of Scotland. I think they call it the ash tree out of Scotland. And for Barbados, it is a pride thing because each Commonwealth nation is decorating their own baton. For us, it's a pride thing. We get to then create this baton however we want culturally. So at the end of the day, this baton goes back to Glasgow for the start of the Commonwealth Games next year. So it would then showcase Barbados culturally through the baton. When you see it, you will be amazed at what the students did.
Thank you so much for spending your time with us. That's news. On behalf of the entire crew, do enjoy the rest of your evening.